For today's In Detail segment, we're looking at kitchen design in single-family houses, and all of the examples that we pulled are from the Philadelphia area.
So as you remember from the slow home test, the kitchen should have a compact work area with ample storage, continuous work surfaces, and a reasonable number of appliances.
And we've seen that kitchen design is really problematic in single-family houses. And
is.
we have a couple theories. One is the fact that single-family houses are large, so they tend to be a little bit out of control and take up a lot of space unnecessarily in the house.
Exactly. I think it's also the kitchen, the trophy kitchen. When you get beyond a certain size, it's a place where developers like to put lots and lots of space to make it look fancy, to make you think that you're getting a really good deal. But as we've seen over and over again, it doesn't always end up that way.
Yeah, and the other thing that we see over and over again is the fact that just the basic fundamentals of kitchen design are ignored. And we're going to see in our examples today, a lot of times the work triangle is just thrown right out of the window in a single-family house.
So what we need to remember is that we've got 4 rules of thumb for kitchens. The first is that it should be an appropriate size for the house with no unnecessary appliances. The second is that it should be connected with and properly oriented to the other principal living areas.
And the third one, which I talked about earlier, is it has to have an efficient work triangle and continuous counter surfaces. And we don't want kitchens that have a lot of unnecessary angles because those reduce functionality. So I want to go through some examples of good and bad kitchens. So this is the first one. This is a single family house. And I think this is actually a pretty good example of a good kitchen because we have a simple island. We have a simple L-shaped configuration. Look at our work triangle. It's very, very compact between the fridge, the stove, and the dishwasher. And then we also have a pantry, which is located just outside of the work triangle for extra storage.
Right, and it's oriented to the living room in a nice way, and it's side-oriented
to the breakfast
in an open area to the breakfast room.
I think that one's pretty efficient. So this is also, I think, a pretty good one. This is a U-shaped kitchen. We see these a lot where there's too much floor space. In this one, there's actually a good amount of floor space for the U-shaped kitchen. Again, we have a very, very compact work triangle. We have an orientation towards the dining room plus the living room, and we have that little bit of pantry storage just outside of the work triangle, so you can access that without interrupting.
And it's also in a good, it has a good relationship to the circulation beside. That's actually something that looks like a small house kitchen or an apartment loft kitchen, townhouse kitchen, not like that. So you've shown us the good ones.
Yeah. So this is an example where things start to get off course. Now this one isn't so bad, but this is where we're starting to lose basic functionality. Now the fridge goes here, so our work triangle is it's okay, it's a little flattened. If they had just turned the island this way so that we are oriented out this way when we're cooking, that would have made a huge difference. By putting it this way, it's a confusion because you think the work triangle should be here, but actually it's over on this side.
That's right.
So that's a problem with the island, and then we've got all this extra wasted floor space.
You could also just move the cooktop onto that island, and that would give you a great...
Yeah, and we talk about that too. I have issue when there's no function on the island. Okay, so again, this is a problem. So we've got an island that is, I think, turned the wrong way. Look at our work triangle. The fridge is actually over here. There's a problem with the work triangle because the island actually intersects
Looks like a football play.
It does.
It's blocking
the fridge needs to really be over here somewhere, and the kitchen just needs to be that big. But because we've got this extra floor space, they've wrapped it all the way around.
Right. So a good rule of thumb is when you've got a big kitchen, have a really efficient work triangle in one area, so that's the work area, and then a prep area.
Exactly. I think having a big kitchen is okay. It's just like make it functional.
Don't spread the appliances out.
Exactly. So here we've got another issue, and this is a big house, and like the kitchen is actually pretty big, but look at how little counter space they've got, and then we've got this island which is too big. Yeah. The fridge is over here, so again we've got a weird work triangle that doesn't really work. It's totally not functional. Plus, our circulation to the garage is through the kitchen. Yeah. So the whole thing is really choppy with little bits of counter, and it's unnecessary when we've got such a big house. This is another example where things now are starting to get out of control. So now we've got this boomerang, and I mean, you've said the bridge deck of the Starship Enterprise. I mean, it's starting to become that. They've turned the island because they're trying to fill the floor space, but the island is really the wrong way. I mean, and look at our work triangle. It is massive. I mean, you're going to get a workout, plus you've got to hop over the island really to do a good job in this kitchen. What a crazy thing. So it's, again, not very efficiently laid out. Things are starting to get more out of control. Here's another example where we have a huge kitchen and a tiny little island for one person to sit there, and then we've also got another whole kitchen over here and a pantry, and like there's more appliances over here. Look at our work triangle. It's stretched out, very long, very strange orientation. Like if you're going to sit there at your eating bar, it's very odd. Yeah. So this is an example where they're trying to fill in space. Finally, this is where things get totally out of control. We have a crazy island with no function. we have the cooktop jammed into the corner, like jammed in this huge space. The wall oven's there, the dishwasher here. The refrigerator is way out here, practically in another room. The pantry here with an awkward corner angle. And then we've still got more kitchen counter over here. I mean, this is just out of control.
Well, that's interesting. That's our detailed analysis of kitchens in single-family houses in the Philadelphia area.
Thanks for watching our Slow Home Design segment.